Yes, so we have started recording. This session will be an important session. Here I will say you put 100% attention. If I say look at the screen, you look at the screen. If I say look at your computer, look at your computer. Okay? So just follow me. Now you can see that I have a test case with 5 steps, right? Now this is web tools application. This is a test application that comes with HP LoadRunner. When you install HP LoadRunner, this software comes with it so that you can practice it. Because if you practice performance testing in someone's site, right, and you are putting, let's say, a couple of thousand users to test something, to learn something, and if you bring their server down by putting so much load on their server, they can sue you. So HP, this is a tool. If you have license, by using this tool you can bring many applications down, because many applications do not have capability of serving 2000 users. So when you are putting 2000 users, even if they are able to handle the load, their real users will see too much pressure on the application. They will see wait time, long loading time. So nobody wants you practice your performance testing when you are learning it to their site.
Right.
And if they see you are practicing it on their site, right, like you will be writing data to their database, if they see where are this extra data coming from, they can act against you, they can complain against you. Now that's why what HP did, they do not want to fall into a situation someone sue them. So they provided an application with this software where you can practice it. Right? Now you will see many websites. Let's say when you go to Facebook, if you try to register first, you will have to, there will be an image where you will see there is a number or alphanumeric text, right? Robotic text, right? You will have to, remember, when you are doing performance testing, you cannot read that text. They put that checkpoint so that by automation tool, by performance testing tool, so that nobody can keep their application busy. This is called captcha. So that by this automation tool, nobody can keep this application busy, nobody can do automatic anything. Right? So that's why they put that captcha, so that nobody can interrupt their application for testing or for, let's say, or for making their service down. It has to be manually for intentional. So if you want to damage their business, you will have to employ 100 people to keep their, right? So that's why those many of the standard server, you will see there is a captcha. Like when you input user ID and password, with user ID, password and other information, when you are registering, you will have to supply, you will have to read a dynamic text from a image. Right. You will have to input it. That dynamic text, none of the tool has capability to read that text.
When I first time saw it, I thought, what is this stupidity?
Yeah.
He's giving me the number and telling me to put it.
Yeah, none of the tool as of now has capability to read that text. Now, the question here, the application, those are coming with captcha. They have testers. They have automation procedure. They do not test everything manually.
Right.
So how do they do that?
Just maybe put it like disable that somehow.
Right. So either they disable it, or for testing side they have a fixed captcha. Whatever is coming, if you input, they have a master number. They input that master number, it always works. Right? In that way, they do the automation test. Alright? Now, so the application that comes with HP LoadRunner is the application that we are going to use this for this test case. Now, how do you bring this application? How do you bring this application? Remember one thing, if you see this number 127.0.0.1, that means something in your
Residing in the computer.
computer. That means it is residing in your computer. This is called loop back IP. Loop back IP means it is actually you are looking into this computer. You are not going beyond this computer. When you say 127.0.0.1, this is always inside this computer. For every computer, 127.0.0.1 means, you know, looking into this computer. Looking into this computer.
That's why it's called proxy.
This is called proxy. Now,
But it's not real server.
No.
But it's just proxy in there.
no, proxy is a different thing.
But we call this proxy server, right?
No, this is proxy is a different thing.
Okay.
Proxy is a different thing. Like, remember, we did, when you try to look at here, when you try to proxy through Fiddler, right, then you are seeing you are making this IP address, then you are saying, okay, proxy locally, you are giving in LoadRunner, you are giving this IP to proxy. That means you are saying proxy locally, whatever you have proxy tool here, if it is Fiddler or if it is whatever, proxy through that. Okay, now proxy is a different thing. Now, how do you bring this web tour application? So first, what you will have to do to bring this web tours application, we already know, but I am going through it. It will be a complete session on this LoadRunner. Now, how you bring this? Server HP web? Can you see this server, right? And after you bring this server, then you will have to bring this application. How will you bring this application? HP web tour application, right? Okay. So our first step is invoke that application. So when you invoke that application, you can see for every step in this test case we have a checkpoint, right? For every step we have a checkpoint.
When
Now,
you say we have a checkpoint, I mean, I know in the script we put the checkpoint.
yeah.
But here
You can see application will successfully open. Welcome to the web tour site. Text will be displayed.
Okay, that's your putting in the
So it means-
okay, I get.
Okay, so like any
That's
other.
it.
Yeah, like any
That's
other.
what you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But it's not going to continuously going.
So when you open the application, I want to make sure that the application is successfully opened. That's why I am looking for this text. If I get this text, then I will assume that all other objects successfully loaded. The next step, if you take a look, the next step is click sign up now. And when you click sign up now, customer profile text will appear. So when you click sign up now, you will have to make sure that you got this text, right? We are making sure that we are verifying something from the corresponding.
On the right page.
Yeah. Then I am asking, let's say, what is the next step that I am asking? Input sign up information and click continue. Right? Input sign up information. Let's say sign up information. I want to sign up a HP1, right? And then let's say FN1.
We can skip buttons or other information.
Yeah, we can skip other information, but I will input other information. And then right, if you click continue, look at here. Farhana, what are you doing? Look at my computer. If you click continue, can you see thank you, and whatever username we have input, that username is there in the screen. Can you see how I am looking? Thank you, and whatever username I input, it is appearing in the screen. So that is what I mentioned. When you input the user ID, and password or user information and click continue, you will see thank you, that username,
will be displayed.
right? And then what you do? Use that user ID for login. Let's say what is the user ID? HP1 and our password is L12345. Click on login. So when you do that, what do you see? Welcome username. Can you see? Welcome HP1, right? Everyone, can you see this? That text. Welcome HP1. Now the next step I am asking, if you take a look, click sign off and welcome to the web tour site. This text will be displayed. Now if you click on sign off, can you see welcome to the web tour site? That text is appearing, right? Now are we clear about what is our goal?
One quick question. The
Sure.
question is like, I know we are doing performance testing, but if we do functional testing of this side, are you going to have like same kind of testing?
Same kind of test cases.
That's very good. Okay.
Same kind of test cases. Okay. Now, when you are doing functional testing, same thing you verify. Right? Same thing you verify. Now, what I'm going to do, my next task, I know my test case. Right? I know my test case. Even if you work as a performance tester, when you get the test cases from other team, you do manual work too, to see if your performance test cases, if they are working or not. So I am happy. All the functionalities working. Whatever checkpoint I am looking for, it is in the application. I am ready to go. Right? So I am going to stop this application, and then I am going to start my LoadRunner user. Right? Can you see here? Once you are done with the scripting, you are going to register 100 users by using controller. So it is a complete end-to-end scenario, kind of. Okay, so that's why I want you to put your, I got this full session, and I want you to utilize that for your, for your attention. Okay. Now, see, what is the name of the test case? The number of the test case is TC001. The name of the test case is this one, right? I am copying the name of the test case. I am going to go to this tool. I am going to create file, new script and solution.
Is that test case name?
Yeah, new script and solution, and I'm saving, as I'm saying, everything is very important. When you are saving it, whatever you work, whatever application, it can be UFT, it can be LoadRunner, it can be Microsoft Word, it can be Paint, it can be any application. Please do not save it here and there. You have your choice, right? When you eat food, you do not eat whatever is there, right? You have your own choice. Here, do not save it here and there. This is very important. Make your specified folder where you want to, for throughout your life. You might be working in IT, you might not, but when you are saving something in the computer, create your folder structure, save it in the proper place. You will have to use computer throughout the life. If you do it in an organized way, that will make your life so much easy for the whole of the life. Right? Now, remember, I am saving it here. And what is the test case number? This is 001. And then what is the test case name? This one. And remember one other thing, I am not going to keep any space in my name. This is a naming convention. I will not keep any space in the name. And let's say create. What is the protocol? Again, if your protocol is not already selected, web, HTTP, right? You select it. If it is on some other protocol, you make sure that your protocol is web HTTP HTML and click on create.
I have a problem when I do create, the web server, web 2, sometimes it's not working, like I need to try like 2 times.
Yeah, sometimes you might, depending on the situation, depending on the computer, you might see some sort of problem, but our goal in real application you might not see that. So our goal is to get the procedure, how it is done, right? Okay. Now let's say we will do manual correlation. What we will do? Manual correlation. So manual correlation we will need fiddler, right? We will need fiddler. Folks, take a look one thing here. So if you want to proxy through fiddler, this is a local application, that is locally we are accessing. If your application is not local, if you are testing an application from web that is not local and you want to proxy through fiddler, two conditions: your application is not local and you want to proxy through fiddler. If this is the situation, okay, go ahead. Local means the application that we are testing here, we are not getting that application from internet. Even if you are not connected to internet, this application will work, because this application, when you install that LoadRunner, this LoadRunner is installed in your local computer, right? When you install local computer LoadRunner, same thing happen in this local computer, that web tools application also installed. It is not in the internet. So if your application is not local and if you want to proxy through fiddler, then what you will have to do, you will have to go to runtime settings. In real application, if you work as a performance tester, your application will not be local, and if you want to proxy through fiddler, then you will have to answer this proxy setup. You will have to set up this proxy here. You will have to make sure this custom proxy that you can see here, you will have to make sure that it is properly set up if your application is not local. What you will have to do, you will have to come here, you will have to provide 127.0.0.1 and what is the port? 8888, and you select this checkbox. Now if your application is not local and if you want to proxy through fiddler, but here in this situation, do we need to set up this? No. But in your real life, when you work in an organization, your application will be in internet, and you will have to, like if you want to do manual correlation, the way we are learning here, easy way, you will have to set up this proxy, because you will have to do manual correlation when you work. Okay. Now we don't have any proxy. In this application I am selecting no proxy. Now I'll answer your question.
Okay. No, but that was my question. The way we are doing right now, the web tool, it is a web-based application, right?
It is a web-based application, but it is locally installed.
Okay, so that will make difference in this case.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
If it was like really in the web.
See, all of the web application, when they develop it locally. So this application is locally installed, but it is a web-based application.
So how are we going to treat this? So
this is a web application. This is a web application, but locally installed. Okay.
So if it was a web application and not local as a web,
yeah.
what would be the difference then?
The difference is if you proxy through fiddler, if you want to proxy through fiddler, then you will have to set up this proxy. That's it. That's
but
it.
But in our case today, we not, because
we are not
web-based, but it's locally.
Locally. Okay. Okay. What is the question?
In the real world, company that we work with, even though it's local, but they're using now that
website. They are like, let's say, if you work in a big organization, there might be a site here in Atlanta, there might be another site in Alabama, there might be another site in Austin, Texas. So that application will have to be online on the web, right? Now guys, any questions so far? Any more question? Okay.
So in other words, you just
It's
call.
going smooth, it's going smooth.
Okay.
You just call, like, for example, because that was my another question, that when you are testing, you're basically testing an application, and probably that application we are testing inside means like whatever the module it is, but still it's not in the production, that's what you are testing. So it could be locally in Atlanta. In that case, is one scenario, there is no proxy for example.
Remember one thing,
Yeah.
when you are testing,
Yeah.
they have a, let's say, like okay, let's say automatecode.com. When you go there, this is the site, right? Now can you see this is automatecode.com, but if you type test.automatecode.com, test.automatecode.com,
Testing normal.
that is the testing environment.
Right.
Again, this testing environment is in the internet, it is not local.
Right.
So every organization, the application will be in the internet. Even your test site, it will be in the internet.
Okay, so in that case, we have to use the proxy.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah,
Unless it's really like in that computer.
yeah. And you will have to use proxy if you want to do correlation. There are many ways of correlation. The easiest way is using Fiddler. If you want to do correlation, manual correlation using Fiddler, then you use the proxy.
So, the company has its own server that can handle the load
Yeah,
that you are testing.
yeah. Like all of the medium size to big size company, even lower medium size company, they have their own server. They do not purchase hosting from HP or from let's say GoDaddy. No, they have their own big servers for hosting, and for those server they have backup. Okay, if this server goes down, straight away another server will be taking the role.
It's like a multi-engine airplane.
Yeah, multi-engine airplane. So they do not want like Wells Fargo, right, or a bank. They never want their service down. So they have multiple backup. So that is called DR, disaster recovery. If there is a disaster, that will take place. Okay. Now let us go back to our work. Now, so this application, as it is locally installed, even you are not setting up proxy, but if you have Fiddler open, whatever we are doing, it will be proxying through Fiddler. Because this is locally installed, you do not need to say that go through proxy, because as it is local application, it will be automatically going through Fiddler. Understandable? What
Here,
I'm saying?
well, you have to do the proxy.
Proxy.
To use the
Yeah, to use Fiddler. But here you do not set up that proxy, but still, if you have Fiddler open, it will be going through Fiddler. Okay.
That's because not of the application itself. That's because Fiddler is open.
Yeah.
Fiddler is going to catch it.
Fiddler is catch it because it is locally going through.
Right.
Okay.
Fiddler is just probably catches the whatever it comes. It may be local, it may be outside,
Yeah.
but it will catch.
It will catch it. But we are recording it through LoadRunner, right? So when you are recording through LoadRunner, right? When you are recording through LoadRunner, if the application is in the internet, if you do not have proxy setup, it will not capture it. But as this application is local, if you even do not set up proxy, it will capture it.
Or if it was a really web-based,
Web-based,
then you have to put the setup, the proxy in LoadRunner.
LoadRunner, then
in order for the Fiddler to
capture it.
Okay.
Okay? Alright.
Okay.
Alright guys, Now here, please.
Right. Can you explain one more time?
Oh, that one is what I'm saying is, when you are recording through Fiddler, right? If your application is in the internet, if you are recording through Fiddler, if you want to capture it in the Fiddler, then you will have to set up that proxy. But this application is local, right? We do not need to set up proxy. Still, Fiddler will capture it because this application is local. Okay. Now, let me click on record. But before you click on record, what do you make sure? You go to recording option. You make sure that all the recording options are the options those we are looking for. In case if you go to recording options, you make sure this to close by radio button is selected, and then you go there, script is whatever is there, and you go there in code generation, not in code generation, advanced. Can you see generate average find? Actually, normally we keep generate average find function for page titles, but we'll keep it, but we will modify it. We will be using our own average find. We will be using, remember in the script you saw that we have our custom average find, right? We will keep it, but we will not use it. We will modify it, right? And
standard, no, right? It's standard in the real world.
Yeah.
So sometimes I have to change it. No? Very, very rare, no?
this is the standard.
Okay.
Now click OK, and then click on this record button, and make sure that you don't have anything in your Fiddler, and make sure that your Fiddler is recording. Okay?
I have a lot of
You clear it. But right now you do not follow it. Right now you follow the script. Okay?
We are not doing it, we are just looking.
Now, can you see? Make sure that you are recording on the correct application. And if your URL is wrong, what you will do? You will manually open the application, copy the URL and paste it here. Then I am going to start recording. So the application is being opened. The loading is gone. The application is fully opened, right? Let's go to Fiddler. Now these steps are for open application.
You don't have no other application open, that's why you only get that, right?
Yeah.
Now when sometimes we practice with your recording, that's the problem we face, because when your recording is open, and I use like Chrome, and then I use Internet Explorer to open the this web page. So it comes all mixed up, so I can just delete them and it still is good, right?
Still is
Just leave them on.
I do one thing, like just when I open application, that time I click capture on and open it application and come to the again Fiddler and stop capture.
No, that's true, but still for that
Yeah.
2 seconds, the application is open.
Yeah.
So that's not what I'm talking about. Whatever it
See
is.
that the kernel too is
So you will see one thing here. Can you see all of the requests those are coming from? All of the application those are coming from. Can you see host?
Yeah.
If you see host is 127.0, that is it. You can remove other. And can you see I am giving a name?
Also,
All of the requests that I got from opening application, I am giving a name to them, and then I am going to remove whatever is unnecessary. Can you see this Google? I am going to remove it.
So how did that come? I thought all the applications are closed now, right?
Yeah, close, but when you start recording, first it brings Google. Okay. Now, our opening application is done.
Right.
According to our test case, our next step is click on sign up.
Sign up now.
Sign up now. Now, before you click on sign up, what you will do? You will be creating a transaction. So this transaction is, what is the number of this transaction? 02. And what is the name of this transaction? Click on
Sign up now.
click on sign up now, and I am copying this transaction name. That is the purpose why I am copying this, right?
Why you do that?
So click on sign up now, and then let's go to Fiddler. So for clicking on sign up, can you see?
Yeah, that's the purpose.
So now I am commenting it out, I am pasting it. Instead of typing it, I am pasting it here.
Copy and paste.
Paste. Right?
Suppose the recording is going on and you did not stop it. So it will be continuing.
Yeah.
Right? So we have not to, we need not to stop the recording, then we have to read another one.
No.
You can pause it.
You keep it going.
No, but the problem is that when trying to find out the data behind it, we wouldn't understand that it's coming from open application or sign up or whatever it is. You can do that, right?
So here, instead of going every time, stopping record in Fiddler, you just remove whatever you see is not from 127, you remove it. Isn't it easy?
Yeah, that's right. But the point I'm trying to make, like when you open the application, you get a session ID. Now, you get a session ID when you get a response from the opening application. Then you capture that session ID and send it back to you. So in order to find what the session ID was in your application, if you don't know which one is open application, you will not, I mean, you can say the first one should be logically, but again, you don't know really directly. And maybe there are some other purpose to do this name. That's what I'm saying.
The purpose of this naming is only to find out this request where it is coming from.
It's coming from, right. That's
Right.
what I mean. So if you have all together one, then you will not.
You don't know
you don't
what
know
is
what
why is what for.
why is what for, yeah.
And we have to search. When you do manual correlation, we really have to search the value, right?
Exactly.
Now I am naming it according to my test case. My next step is import information, import sign up information, and click continue. But before I do that, I will have to stop that previous transaction. I will have to create another transaction. What is another transaction? Input Input, sign up info, and click continue. And then what will I do? Copy. And what is the number I provided here? 03. Click copy. Now let's go there and let's type HP 2, right? Or let's say HP test 2. Then use the same password. First name 1, last name 1, and then street address 123 street, zip code. Right now, I'm going to click continue. Okay. Now let's go to Fiddler. So for clicking continue, how many new requests we have? 1. I am putting the proper name. Okay, then my task, whatever user I registered by this user, make sure that login is working, right? So before I do that,
So I created the profile, then I log in.
log in using that profile. I'm stopping that transaction, I'm creating another transaction, right? Log in using this user, and I'm copying, right? Now here, what is the user? HP test 2, and what is the password? L12345, right? Now I'm going to click on login, right? So now let's go to Fiddler. How many requests I have? This many, right? This is from login. Now what is the next step? Log out. So before I log out, I'm going to close that transaction. I'm going to bring another transaction 05 log out. And remember, I'm not using any dash. Instead of dash, I'm using underscore, right? Click, copy this and click OK, and then go there, do the logout, right? Now you go to your Fiddler and comment it out, right? And then stop the transaction, stop recording, and while something is going on, what you do? You save, you uncheck that, and file, you save all of this session. Where are you going to save them? Same place where you have saved your script. Same place where you have saved your script. Now where did I save my script? I saved my script inside my C drive. Inside my C drive, and then inside that one, what do I have? I have performance testing, and inside that one, what do I have? I have created this script today, right? So I'm going to save it. Let's say we are going to give a name like this. Let's go there. When I normally give name, I put this date. Let's say Fiddler is of Fiddler case of user registration in that case. Right? Now
Is there any further use of these things that we are serving?
yeah, sometimes one script you will have to work a couple of days, sometimes a week, and on one script.
Really?
Yeah. So when you are using, let's say you cannot finish the work today, and if you close this, if you do not save it, it is gone.
You have to do again.
You have to record again to get this Fiddler trace, right? So you have to record again. So you first thing that you do, you save it. Okay. Then you come here, over there. You close this window. You come to the script, right? Now if you take a look here, guys, if you take a look here, if you look for transaction, right? Control F, find all. We have 4 transactions, but in the actual script, how many transactions were there? 5. One transaction is not there. Why? Because of the open application we were not able to. So here you put the transaction LR start transaction, and then you come here, you put 01 open application, right? Then you copy it. So before you start another transaction, you make the end transaction.
operate
Mhm.
in script like you are writing here LR auto? Is there any logic behind this kind of thing instead of just remembering?
Yeah, it is, you will remember this is a syntax that you are writing LROT. When you are stopping any transaction, you are writing LROT. It's kind of remembering.
But there is no.
There is no specific reason.
Okay. It's
That
just
design it
remembering.
in a way you have to put LROT.
It's the written by the programmer.
Programmer. Yeah.
Right.
So on the basis of
His
programming
preference.
ideas, we have to write it.
Okay. Now, can you see? I'm going to all of this average find whichever is going to multiple lines. I will be first clearing up this script. See how I am clearing. I don't need this. Can you see this parameter? I don't need this. The way it is designed, it records something here. I don't need this. Even if you have it, it will not create any issue. But I don't need it. I'm removing it.
What is the way to find?
Here, it is actually. Can you see?
Save string.
Password. There is a save string password. It is saving into the parameter.
Encrypted, right?
Yeah,
So
I don't need it
you don't
because
want that.
I don't need it. I am removing it. And then can you see all of this unnecessary think time?
Yeah, don't need to think too much.
Yeah, I'm going to remove it. Then you come there. Then can you see
Save string.
again this password related? I'm going to remove it.
So all saving you can delete.
No, just that password related.
Okay.
I'm going to remove it.
Think time.
And the think times.
What is that? Just moment.
Yeah, we are talking over there. 207 seconds.
Oh, the time we waited basically,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But when you run it, is it going to wait like that kind of time also?
No, it will wait that kind of time. If you set up something in the runtime settings, if you say, can you see that think time? If you say replay think time as recorded,
Then it will wait.
then it will wait. Okay.
But we don't want it anyway.
No.
So you don't, and that temporarily you delete
Yeah,
that.
and can you see one thing here? They were saving the password and they replaced that password here. We are going to remove that because that is L1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It automatically does in this application. We are
But it didn't do that before though.
no, it did. It did before as well. Before as well, but we replaced it. Okay. So this password we do not want to make
You
any.
never brought that into discussion, I think.
Yeah, I didn't brought that in
Brought that
discussion.
in
No.
there.
So if I bring too many things
So
at a
you
time.
changed that, we didn't understand, so like you are doing right now.
Yeah.
But eventually we will do that in our way.
Yeah. Now here again they are doing the same thing with this password. What I don't need. And I'll make this remove this unnecessary line, and I'll remove this thing type. And here actually we are logging in, right? When we are logging in, actually we are supplying that password again, right? And we have a dynamic session ID. We'll take care of this business, but right now I am just cleaning that script. Remove this unnecessary. So if you have 1,000 line in your script,
We can do it one by one starts, right?
in your if you have 1,000 lines, in general we might have a couple of thousand lines in a normal script. So what you do, how will you remove all of this unnecessary thing type?
Copy a control F.
No, you do Control F and then find out. Then it will bring all of
Highlight
the
it, then control it.
yeah. Then you start from the bottom. Let's say you have 5 in the list. You start from the bottom.
Why not the bottom? That's what it is.
No, let me show you why it is from the bottom. Let me show you why it is from the bottom. Let me put some unnecessary thing type
Yeah.
in every transaction.
And in that case, we can delete everything the same way, right?
Yeah, same
Whatever
way.
we have to delete.
Yeah. Let's say
Highlight it, control F.
let's say you have
Then
that
find
many
out.
thing type, right?
Right. 3, let's see.
Now let's find them. all of the think time will be different number.
Of course.
You do not want to mention that
No,
number.
only the common part.
Yeah. Now
Fine.
you got it, right?
Yeah.
Now let's say I am removing this line. When I am removing, definitely I am not going to keep this empty line, right?
Right.
Will I keep this empty line here? No. I'll be removing this empty line too.
Right.
Now if you click on this line, can you see it is not pointing exactly to
Oh,
the,
I see,
because
I think
remove the line.
remove the line. Now in a general you will see like 10-15 think time. Normally we have in a test is 10-15 think time.
If you do on the top, then you change the sequence, the way the report came.
Now
You do not use the right one.
if you do it from the top, let's say now
change.
you will see like it is taking you to some place where there is no think time. Now let's show you how it helps you if you do it from the bottom. Find all. Now you come here, remove it, and remove whatever empty line you want, right? And then if you click on this one, still it will point you to the right line,
Right place.
right? So everything has a purpose. Okay, you start from the bottom.
But the question, is it really right even in what you're doing that you're going to be deleting one by one? Because in 2000 lines we have 100 of them, that's right.
No, think time it is not 100 of them. If you have 15 transaction, there will be 15 think time.
But if you not then it's not
Okay. Because it's just only the time think time is coming, that time we are not talking.
No.
But if it remains, it will not be harmful.
If it remains, it will be harmful.
So it will take 38 seconds.
Yeah, because it is inside the transaction. That transaction will that 20 sec. When you are running the test, you will be playing the think time too. It will be playing the think time.
You just ignore the time.
No, you need to play the think time, because you will see today that in between every transaction there will be a think time. Okay, I'll tell you like why you need to remove it. I'll tell you why you need to remove it. But before that, you want to take no break. At 11 o'clock we might consider a break, right? All right. So now the part is, at this point we are going to input our custom checkpoints. We want to do the manual correlation. Custom checkpoint manual correlation, right? Let's go there. So if you take a look at the test case for opening application, what is the checkpoint that we are looking for? This checkpoint we are looking for, right? Now if you see, where is that checkpoint coming from? How will you look for? Control F. And what are we looking for? This text. And where are we looking for that text? In the response. So what you select here? Response only and decode, right? Now if you select find session, can you see we are getting it in this request? We are getting it in this request. But when you open application, what do you call index.html? Now go to your script, folks. Go to your script. Can you see index.html? Can you see this request is index.html? But that text point, that checkpoint is coming in home.html. It is not coming in index.html.
no.
Is it coming in index.html?
No. Then what's the difference between HTML and HTML?
So index.html is a file, home.html is another file. Okay. Now, although you notice that it is coming in open application, it is not coming out of open application. In open application, when you invoke that application, you are invoking this URL, but eventually many other things coming along with that. Now you see that home.html, that URL, if you have that in your script in open application transaction. Now let's go back to the open application transaction. In open application transaction, do we have that home HTML? No. Do we have it? No. That means that is automatically happening. So your checkpoint will be before home.html. As you can see, folks, take a look here. You are getting that checkpoint if you search here where you are invoking application. If you go raw, can you see that text? No. If you search in header, can you see that text? No. If you put your checkpoint here, it will fail. Index.html. If you put your checkpoint here, if you go to the URL, if you put it in index.html, it will fail. If you put that checkpoint here, it will fail. Where you will have to put? Where you will have to put? Home, where it is coming. Home.html. If you look here, you will see it is green. That means we are getting it. Right? But this home.html, do we have it in the script? No. Then where we will put it? No, not anyone.
No, right after.
Not right after. Who is invoking that home.html? Who is the guy? No. When you are calling this URL, that is the URL that is eventually calling that home.html.
Right.
So you put that checkpoint before this call. But if that home.html is reflected, sometimes you will see it is reflecting in your script, then you will be putting it before
Right there.
home.html, right there. But as we cannot see it in our script, it is automatically being invoked. So we will put the checkpoint before the URL that is actually causing to call that URL in the opening application.
Even though that's not being shown here.
Not shown here. So I am going to put that web tools instead of web tools. I am going to put my preferable checkpoint. Welcome to.
So now, if the home HTML was showing on our script,
Yeah.
then it's going to be
Before that.
So it's going to be before.
Yeah. Okay.
So the thing we have like in line number 10, that's not going to bother in this case, right? That says HTML, right?
No, it will not bother. Keep whatever is there. Keep it as it is.
So the point is, when we try to find that session ID, and if it is something that we don't find here,
You will be putting it
the
before.
URL.
Yeah, before
Because URL is one who
invoking that.
calling everything.
Yeah.
And if you find exact that one, then we must do that one.
Yeah. Over there.
Okay.
Now, who has question? Who has question? Anyone has question? Can I move forward?
Oh, yes, more forward.
Okay, question.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Manish has a question. No, I'm sorry. My question is, I forgot. When I was practicing at home, I was only getting 3 letters as a session ID, and every single time was coming the same one.
3-letter was different.
No, same letter, A or some, I forgot this, and in Finland. And I was closing and when you start again, and it's coming the same thing.
Yeah, we'll see if it happens.
Okay.
All right. So our first business is taken care of. Okay.
So, again, you said after we edit the script, next thing we do is the correlation.
Checkpoint correlation. Okay. Then let's follow the steps here.
So what was the name of the first step?
First step is you edit the script. You remove all the unnecessary lines. You make all the lines straight, and then you come here for the checkpoints and correlation. Then you come here, guys. Now, open application. Click on sign up now. Now, what is the checkpoint we are looking for? For sign up now customer profile, right? We are looking for this text, right? Now let me see where this text is appearing. So I'm going to go to Fiddler again, Control F, right? Find session. Now where it is coming?
19.
Can you see line number 19? When we are clicking on sign up, it is coming in the first request, right? Can you see that? If you search it here, you will see, can you see user information, user profile, right? That means I will, as it is coming in the first line, I'm going to go there and I'm going to place that here.
First line means is
Click on sign.
right after LR start transaction,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Okay.
So is it like the number of lines you are getting? It does not really match with the number of the.
Actually, how will you make sure? Can you see? If you go to Fiddler, right? So it is coming in this URL, right? Guys, look at here. So this user profile we are getting from this URL. So what you do? Right click, copy just URL, and then if you go there in your script, you search for that URL. You search for that URL. Where is that URL? Right? So where is that URL? That URL actually, if you look from the beginning, find next, it is coming. So I'm seeing that it is taking me to the next one, but let me show you where it is coming first. Hold on one.
Where is the second step at the moment, right?
Yeah. Can you see something here, guys? This P user ID here, password.
Yeah.
So basically here we do not, when we are clicking on sign up, we do not need this sign up, we do not need it. Password,
This is
because
the password related issue.
we are not using password. It is
L1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
when you click on sign up, we do not need any password. We will keep this empty, right? Now if you take a look here, can you see it is coming in the click sign up in the first request. So you put the checkpoint, right? Now
So as it is the first here, you put in the first and fifth or
actually
No, I'm sorry.
in the Fiddler we got it in the first line.
You got in the first, yeah.
And what is that URL? Make sure that you are putting in the right URL. Can you see? CGI login.pl,
Right.
username, password. You look at Fiddler, you look at your script, you will see this is the request where we are getting it. Can you see? CGI login PL, username, password, and finally there is a true, right? So that's why you put the checkpoint here. Then your clicking on sign up is done. Then let's take a look. Input user ID and password, input the sign up information and click continue. Now what is the checkpoint we have there? We have this checkpoint. Thank you username, right? Now what was the username that we registered? What was the username?
Test 1, test 2.
So Control F, you remove that, it is HP test 2. Look where we are getting it. Are we getting it? We are not getting it, right? So let me see. HP, actually let me remove HP test. Let me remove that, right? And let me see thank you. Where is the thank you? Now can you see here that Can you see here? If you let me bring that comment before this one, then it will be easier for us. Let me
Put sign.
yeah. Now, can you see that input information and click continue? We are getting that one in the response of this request. Now, if you look here, thank you, right? You are not getting it, but if you look for thank you, can you see we have thank you, and there is something, there is in between HP test 2, there is something, that's why it is not getting it. So we will remove our this username, we will just look for thank you. So our checkpoint will be, so can you see we can check it HP test 2, but no, we are not keeping this username, we will just look for thank you. So
in order to find the checkpoint.
yeah, because the checkpoint in between thank you and the username, in the code there is another thing. We do not want to go that much complexity. Now let me go there, let me modify this. So I do not want to check that.
Just thank you.
Yeah, just thank you and comma. So my checkpoint is thank you and comma. So if you go to the script, here you put as a checkpoint, you put that thank you and comma. Then you come here,
Every time is different.
we will take care of this. First let's take care of the checkpoints and then we will go there. Then can you see here, input that user ID, input that username, and when you click on login, let's see, we have to look for that checkpoint, right?
I think we delete the username.
Let's see if we can get it here, we will do that. So in Fiddler, if you look for, what is that username? HP test 2. So find session, we do not get it, right? Just instead of the username, let's take a look at that welcome only. Now if you take a look at welcome, we have welcome in many places, right?
You already remove welcome.
Okay. Now if you keep this comma, let's see how difference it brings. Now can you see we have in login, right? We have in login, in what URL? We okay, no problem. See here, in login we have it. If you take a look, welcome comma, we have it, but we cannot check the username, because can you see in between welcome comma and username there is some other thing. So we will be looking for welcome comma.
So basically we are modifying the checkpoint.
Yeah, we are
Even though we want it that way, but system did not really do exactly the same way.
yeah. So we are modifying this checkpoint too, right? Now, so where are we getting this checkpoint? I know, can you see in login we have 3 or 4 requests, right? Now if you take a look, if you copy this URL, copy just URL,
Right.
if you go there, if you go to your script,
I didn't understand this last time, 100%.
yeah.
Okay.
Now if you look at it, right, see, we do not have it here, right? We do not have it, this call we do not have it in the script, right?
Then you have to go to the original one.
Yeah, now let's go to the login request itself. So this is our login, right? In login you can see we have only one request. Login end here we have only one request, right?
HP test 2.
Yeah. Can you see in login we have only this login peer. In login we have only one request. How many requests we have in login?
It should be one, because we are only putting one customer profile, right?
Yeah, but in Fiddler, if you take a look, in Fiddler, in login we have 3 calls.
Okay.
But out of these 3 calls in the script we have only this call.
Or is that exactly that one?
Yeah, we have only this call. If you copy just URL, if you go there and search for it, right?
When you search it searches all over, right? The whole city.
Yeah, when we search it all over. So up to that PL. It is. Let me copy that. Yeah. So this is the URL, right? If you search it, can you see? We have it here.
Right.
But not all other URL is. We have 3 other call, 2 other call. They are not here. Then we will have to put that checkpoint, which invoking those extra URLs. Now what is that checkpoint? Our checkpoint is that welcome. Up. Then you go there, you put it here. Right?
So what line did we get that?
We get that in
64?
we got that in this request, but this request is automatically called by this one.
No, that's what I'm going to LoadRunner.
Yeah, it is in 63.
63. So then now where do we put it?
We put it before that one.
Before that.
Always you put your checkpoint, whichever is bringing your checkpoint
Right before.
right before it. One above, one step above. Okay?
One line above
of that request.
There's going to be any other command there.
No. Okay? Then, everyone, then the final one, we have, when we are signing off, we are making sure that this text is there. Make sure where in sign out you have multiple requests, right? Let's see where we have it. Now, so it seems like we have it in the somewhere else, but we need to make sure that we have it in logout. So what are we looking for? This text. Welcome to the web tour site. Now let's see if now let's see. We saw that even if you sign out, that welcome is there, right? But why? I know that when you sign out, it is there. But why we are not seeing in Fiddler? If you take a look, we should see it. So I am going to make it a little bit smaller, and let's see. In logout, actually, there is no welcome.
It should be the line number 33.
We can find out by URL.
Because
when you log out, it gives you a welcome.
Hold on.
It's like a clown, they are mad and you know where it comes.
Guys, please focus on here. Now, we are not getting that welcome because what is happening here? When you are logging out, that welcome is coming in. Remember when you open application, right? So that page is already in the cache. That page is already in the cache. So that call is not happening here.
It's coming on the web page itself. But
Itself.
here you cut it off, kind of.
In Fiddler it is not appearing because
You log out.
log out. So we will modify our checkpoint to something else. Let's say when you click on sign off, what you really see? You look at the code. When you sign off,
We can put like web tool. For
yeah,
example, the
see,
first one.
we will get something from here. Can you see? It is, let's see what is the meaningful text that I can put here. You can put anything. Can you see username? That username is there. When you log out, that username is there, right? When you log out, that username is there.
In the code.
So when you sign in, it's going to be
Yeah. Now, here when you sign in, it is there, but this username, when we are logging out,
Only look for there.
if you look out Fiddler, can you see this username is there?
Yeah.
When you log out, right?
Yes.
We want to make sure that when you are sign out, it is there. This username is there.
Even though it's some other place, that's not a problem.
We have to put a checkpoint that is present when logout is happened. Okay. Now
So Saurabh, the another thing we are learning right now that we really do not find that we have to find something
from the
already
response.
we have something.
From the response.
So that is also telling us, remember we started telling that okay, do manually. So even though we are checking the functionality manually, but that doesn't mean that eventually we'll get everything.
When you are doing a script, he might not get exactly because we are looking in the back end. We are not looking in the front end. Now let me modify this test case here.
But that's kind of confusing at that moment. I mean, we understand this concept, but if you see some word in the front end, right?
Front end.
And that is completely absent. How is it possible?
So it is possible here. Normally, it is whatever you see in the front end. Remember, when you do functional testing, you see everything.
Right,
But
that's
whenever
fine.
you doing performance testing, not everything that you are seeing in the front end will be you will see
No,
in
that
the
I
response.
understand. Also not everything, but not nothing. So that is happening.
No, not nothing means we are seeing something. See this
So
username.
how does this welcome come over here when you log out? Oh, I see. Because it's a log out, then Fiddler is not really catching.
Catching. Fiddler is not really catching. Actually, hold on. It is actually not bringing anything from the server. It is bringing everything
It
from
is
the front
turning
end.
off.
We are not going to the server.
Right.
So here it is reflecting whatever is interacting with the server. In performance, you will see whatever we are pulling from server, those things we will see here. Right? So not everything that you are seeing in the front end will be reflected. Logout, yeah, logout does something. Can you see? Logout, it does something. If you take a look at the web view here, let me see what we have in the web view. So hold on. When you do logout, can you see it only brings this part from the server, none other thing.
Because the next step is login.
Yeah, hold on. When you log out, can you see?
Yeah.
We can see. Let me log in HP test 2 and L12345. So we logged in, right? When you log out, can you see in the front end we can see many things, right? But if you take a look at Fiddler, in the back end we can see only these elements, none other. So that's why we can see that username.
And we cannot check on those.
No,
Those are static.
no, those things are not coming from the
So
server.
the server doesn't send back any response.
Yeah.
We need to find out what
Yeah.
kind of Windows is FAS. We need to
Let me
find out
hold on.
what-
Let me try to understand.
So I'm saying since when you sign up, it doesn't send a request from the server or
It send a request to the server, but from the server, whatever see in the front end, not everything is coming from the server. Something is being generated by JavaScript in the client.
Oh, okay. Because if I understand right, when we do the checkpoint at the beginning, we do the checkpoint from the front end.
Yeah.
Now, when you're running the application of everything, we want to make sure those checkpoints are really existing exactly that way we want. If not, then we have to change according to the coding that we are getting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. According to what we get.
According to
Now
what-
we are seeing here that when we are actually doing the sign off, only this bit is coming, not other thing. Like when you sign off, we have some other thing, but only whatever we have in this part, it is actually coming from the server, right? So that's why we modified our checkpoint with user name.
I have question.
Go ahead.
So why is looking for user? You can use the password.
Yeah, we can look for the password
Or you
too.
can use also login.
You put at least one checkpoint
anything existing in there.
in the raw.
in the response. You put anything existing in the response, not in the application. Okay. When we wrote the test case, what we saw in the front end.
Right.
But when you go there, we saw that something is not matching because of some coding problem, because of not everything is coming from the server.
We need to say that is a problem.
It's not a problem.
It's no problem.
It's not a problem because the application is written in that way. right?
That's why we will use it.
Yeah. Hold on. Now, our checkpoint is done. What is the next part? The next part, all of the checkpoint we take care of. We took care of.
The checkpoint.
The next point is the correlation.
Correlation.
The next point is the correlation. We need to do that because if you execute this script now, let me execute this script now.
It works.
No, it's a good thing.
Did it
It
work?
says session ID.
I showed that correlation. Some say it's working, some say it's failing. Which one is it?
Let's
No,
take
no,
a
we
look.
didn't go that far yet. It's the question of the session ID now. Right?
Let's go.
Not even session ID. Before session ID, we will have to take care of some parameters. Parameters. Because when you are registering one user,
Then you cannot do that.
then you cannot register the same user
I
again.
thought we could do this in this one, right?
It is in the other application.
Or even the other one.
That one doesn't have any control.
Any control.
No. That's why I stopped working on that application.
Okay, right. I know one of the two had that issue.
Mhm. So after, if you have question, I'm recording it, right?
So if you kindly give us some, in your way, like the way they say, okay, in order to have the whole class, these are the things we are doing one by one. We do this manually, then we check in the checkpoints, match it to the back end, now we are doing the code, so we kind of understand, okay, we are doing it step by step.
Yeah.
I think you're doing, but if you specifically kind of tell.
Sure, I'll tell.
I say by far, I think this one is best class I've come to. Started really structured. I like how you doing with this class.
Yeah, thank you.
The way
Actually,
and the pace.
Yeah.
This class and previous class is also.
Yeah, that class was very good.
now take a look here. Can you see the script is failing here? How will you make sure where it is failing? This error, right? What is the line number? Can you see? Line number 36. If you double click here,
But it's still.
if you double click here, it will take you there. Now, can you see, guys? Can you see here that this script is failing here, and when it is failing, what we are seeing in the runtime viewer? What we are seeing in the runtime viewer? That username is taken. Username is taken. Now, this we know that this username is taken, right?
If you change it to 3, for example, is it going to pass?
It is going to pass,
Okay.
right? But I'm not going to hard code it here. Instead, I'm going to create here. I'm going to create parameter, right? Now here, how do you create parameter? P user ID, and then you create table, and then edit with notepad. You put, let's say, HP test. No, not one. Not one is already done. Let's say 3, right? And then after the file, you will have to have one empty space, right? So I have created the parameter.
Why didn't you say it?
Empty space is the rule. You'll have to keep one empty space. Yeah. And by you'll have to select by name user ID. And remember, if you have registered one user, you will not be able to register it one more time. So if you have a situation like that, you always select unique. Unique. And
What is that?
unique. Unique means
I know, but what was the thing you explained?
like if you have a situation, let's say if you have a situation, you are using a credential, you logged in. Now if another people use the same credential, he will not be able to log in, or the first user will be logged out. Then you always select unique.
So then you can use one more time?
No, unique, it will be using only one time.
Okay.
Unique. Okay. Now let's take a look here. Unique each iteration and continue with cyclic manner.
Okay.
Right here can you see continue? When you use unit, you will be selecting continue in cyclic manner. Cyclic manner, that means like when all the IDs are used, then start from the beginning.
Kind of look around.
Yeah, loop around. Now you close it. Right? Now you close it, and now what is the user ID? We used P user ID. This is the parameter we have created, right? Now, can you see this password? We will be parameterizing this password too, right? Actually, when you are doing this P user ID, the way you do it, so this is the ID that you want to remove, right? You want to replace it with a parameter. So what you do, you select this, right? Press Ctrl H. Ctrl H. Now you want to replace it with a parameter. What is the parameter? P user ID. And then you start from the beginning.
So basically, if you highlight your control H, that will bring in this window.
Yeah.
And whatever you parameterize, you are going to be for that.
Now can you see I am going to replace, and then I have used that same thing afterwards when I am logging in, right? I am replacing it over there too, right? So it will normally you will see some of the value you have to replace in 10-15 place. In that way you
Can you
can
not do replace all?
Control
see. Control H. You do not want to do replace all. If you do replace all, it will do, but
Or some of them it may not need to be.
need to. You may want to keep.
because you are logging 2 times.
Okay. Yeah. Then come back. I want to parameterize that password too, right?
Yes.
Now let me go there. Let me create another. Let me create another parameter P password, and then instead of creating another table, I'm going to use browse, and I'm going to select the previously created table. What was the table previously we have created? P user ID, right? I'm going to select that, right? And then can you see edit with notepad? Over there I'm going to put a comma here, P password, and I'm going to put a comma up here. Every data will be separated by comma, and then I'll click close, click save. Now what is the name of this parameter? Before I go further, I'll be selecting by name password, and is it not the same line as P user ID? So I'll be selecting same line as P user ID. Does it make sense? Because this password and user ID is in the same line. Then click close, and you come here, you again do the same thing, Control H, and then P password, right? And then you start from the beginning, start replacing. Find next, and then replace, right? Here P password is already replaced. So let me see if I have any more. That's it, right? Then now we have, let's say we have, when we are submitting this login request, when we are submitting this request, do we need to use any session ID? No. Can you see we have taken care of everything here, right? We have input P user ID, we have input password, but when we are submitting the user registration, do we need to use any session ID? No. We do not have any session ID here. Do we have? No. Now let's move forward.
You need when you log in.
Login, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Now let's go to the login part. In login part, I know if I try to register now, my register will work, but my login will not work. Why? Because in login I have a dynamic In login, I have a dynamic session ID. Now I'll have to correlate that. I can correlate manually. We know how to do manual correlation, but we are not doing manual correlation. We are doing what correlation? We are doing automatic correlation. We already learned how to do manual correlation in the last class, but I'm going to discuss it again here. Now, when you do, this is the value. Because of this value, do you want me to show you how it is failing?
Again, the
Manual correlation. Do you want me to show you how it is failing here?
No.
You will see. Yeah, let me show you. I have no
Fail
problem.
anyway because it's not the same idea. That's the only reason.
You will see our registration will be successful. Okay. Getting a little bit hot here.
So you can log in.
Okay. Now take a look here. Can you see our registration is successful? How you see our registration is successful? By seeing this output window. Can you see HP test 3 thank you? When you see that thank you, that means our registration is successful.
Not for in this case HP test 3. It's because only thank you, comma.
Yeah. We are looking for that thank you.
Right.
I can see that that user is registered. Right? Now, when you try to log in with that user, can you see? Welcome, we didn't get it. Login is not successful. And can you see that it is asking probably a bad user session value? So why is that? Because we didn't supply a valid session ID, right? We didn't supply a valid session ID. Okay.
How does that work in a practical life? Because we are testing right now and we are actually holding the session ID and reusing the same ID, so that's why it's not working. But as a client, I log in, right? And then, I launch the application, then I'm logging. So I know you went through. Now, if I want to log in with another user credential, I basically log out, right? And put the new credential. And it will go again. It will work, right? So my question in this time, which session ID is being used for the second credential?
Same session ID, because when you are not closing that browser,
Right.
it is using the same session ID. When you are not closing the browser,
Okay. Even though it's multiple
multiple attempt of login, multiple.
No, but I'm saying like let's say you and me both are the same computer we are working. I launch it, I go to my credential, I finish my work, right? I log out. How do you see now? You're not going to launch the application again. It's already launched there. And you just put your credential. So in this time, whose session ID is that the first one that
First session ID because session ID is generating when you only
When you
open the
launch it,
application,
right?
when you launch the application.
Okay.
Got it?
So in this case, why it's not working? Because we are relaunching.
It is not
Every
working
time we are
because
relaunching.
this session ID that we are using, it was captured when we record the script. Right.
That's what I'm saying. So we
And
are
then when we
relaunching.
are trying to play the script, we are
Relaunching.
bringing a new
New launch.
launch.
So that's why it's not matching.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Now, guys, our login is failing here because of a bad session ID. Now, let me finish this execution and let me bring another thing. I already discussed that thing. Can you see when you are trying to log in? Welcome, it is failed. But can you see for which ID you are trying to log in? From this log, can you tell me for what ID your login is failing? Can you see here? By seeing
It should be 3, but I don't.
by seeing this log, can you tell me what is the user ID you are registering? What is the user ID failing here? Can you see by seeing this one? No.
Can we not start?
No, even if you search
This is not there, you mean?
HP test 3,
Right.
it is not there.
No.
Because in the runtime settings, in the log, we need to select always and then extended log parameter substitution. right? Okay. Remember, when you are doing, you select extended log, parameter substitution. Okay. Then let me take care of that session ID. When I am done with that session ID, most of the task will be done. We can go to the controller. Okay. Now
You have to put
we'll do. No, we will not put if else
not
here.
put it.
We did if else slash plus, right?
No, I mean in order for to be testing, we don't even need that.
No. Here we are not going to spend another time, because now the focus is to do everything and then run it in the controller,
basically.
right?
That's the focus.
Now take a look here, guys. This session ID is the problem. We need to take care of this session ID. So I will have to find out, when I am saying you will have to take care of this session ID, I will have to find out where is this session ID coming from. I am copying this session ID, can you see? And then I am going to, so I know I am using it when I am login in transaction what? Transaction 4. But I will have to capture it previous, from a previous
It can be four.
from a previous request. I have to find out where it is coming from.
Previous request or previous response.
From a previous
Transaction.
from a previous transaction where we are submitting a request and then we are getting a response. Now how will you do that? I have copied that session ID. Now fine. So where is that session ID generating? Can you see? In the opening application it is generating, right? In the opening application. Now you go there, look at the raw response. Look at the raw response. Now you search it here. You search it here. We have it, right? Now where it is we are getting it? In open application. Now what is the left boundary here? Value, right? So before 1, this is the left boundary. What is the right boundary? Double quotation. What is the right boundary? Double quotation. What is the left boundary? Value equal to. So let's go to, and where it is coming? In the opening application. Now go to your opening application. Go to your opening application, right? And this is your opening application. That is where you are opening application, right? You come before that opening application, right click and insert new step, and you will get this window. Here you type save, and you will be selecting this save param ex. Double click on this save param ex. I am doing what? Manual? I am doing what? Manual correlation. Now you put parameter name. What is the parameter name? S session ID. You can put any name, any meaningful name. What is the left boundary? Value equal to. What is the right boundary? What is the right boundary? Quotation. I am just keeping quotation. We can use black slash and the quotation, but when we get, if you look at here, we are starting from this point, and when you get the double quotation, that's it. You want to capture whatever you have in between value quotation to quotation.
Last time we did other way.
Yeah, you can do it up to backslash.
Okay, I get it. You can capture just after the
As
last.
long as that is real, you
Yeah.
see that.
But
Yeah.
only double quotation will work.
Will
Not
work.
will
Will work. So you are saying, okay, start when you see this word, start after from that word, capture everything until you get that double quotation or whatever you mentioned, right?
But you cannot skip the first one.
So first only double
If it is like, for example, double quotation slash,
Yeah,
you
if
cannot
you
put slash and skip double quotation.
if you put, let's say if you
It will
put
match.
if you put
Slash.
if you hold on, if you put, let's say, value, your left boundary value, and if you do not put that quotation,
Yeah, value and equal sign, for example.
value and equal sign, and you use right boundary as a quotation, then it will not capture anything.
But
No,
for
cap-
only quotation.
Huh? If you put only quotation,
Then
left boundary,
Yeah.
then what will happen?
Then there are a lot of
In the response, if you search for quotation, can you see from the beginning
Quotation, so
there are lots of quotation.
okay.
If you put a quotation, right, if you put a quotation, where is the first quotation? Our first quotation is here, right? It will capture, if you put left boundary this quotation, right boundary another quotation, it will capture this one. Confusing.
We have to make it unique basically.
Unique. Right? Sometimes you will see, folks, take a look here. Sometimes you will see when you are capturing that session ID, you will have to, this value, you will see lot of value.
Yeah.
So you will have to capture something from here to here. Right? You make your judgment up to how much you need to use.
You don't want to match that boundary basically.
See,
The boundary
if
has to
you
be unique.
if you use that value, right, search for that value from the beginning, right? You paste here.
Make sure you only get
Can you
the
see,
place.
when you search for that value, the first thing that you got, that session ID, right? But if you search for that equal to and that one, right, you will see that you are getting it even before that. This is not the session ID. So you get that equal to, see how many times you need to press, how many times
To get to there.
to get to there, right? You understand what I'm saying?
But that too even not possible when you running it, because this is you doing manually. That's why you probably go to that place.
Yeah, when you're running it, you can do this. Again,
You can do that.
you can do this by using that equal to and quotation. Then you will have to mention what is the instance. What is the instance? Let's say when you are, let's say if you give your left boundary as this one,
Right.
right, and search it. Okay. Now this is the first time, right?
Right.
Second time, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th. This is the 12th instance, right?
Right.
What is the instance?
12.
12. What is the instance?
12.
12. So what you can do in your, when you are doing this one,
You put in the bracket like 12 or put some note there.
no sir, take a look here. What you do, let me go there. Can you see here, left boundary? Actually, no, we cannot do this by this way. We will have to use a unique boundary to capture it.
Makes sense. I mean, because why would
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, let's move forward.
Okay, so now this session ID, if you do not get that session ID, do you think you will be able to log in?
No.
So if you, in case if you do not get that session ID, you want to throw an error, but you can throw a warning too. Let's say if you do not get that session ID, we know that our login will be failed, right? But our
Feedback.
sign up will be passed. But if you do not get that session ID, that means something severely wrong. So you do not want to warn. So if you put warning, even if it doesn't get that session ID, it will put a warning, but it will move forward. But if you uncheck that, if it do not get that session ID, it will fail over there.
Oh, okay. So with the warning, you can still move forward.
Move forward if you select warning. Sometimes some of the parameters are optional. Even if you do not get a value, you will be able to move forward. Then you will be selecting that warn. Warn if you do not get that. Now I do not want, like if you select warn, take a look. If you select warn, what you will see? Can you see in your not found equal to warning? If you do not get that, not found equal to warning.
Oh.
Right? It will put another extra line, but we do not want that. We'll give it that. Right? Now that session ID, like we are capturing it and then we are saving it where? In that variable. We are capturing that session ID and we are saving it in that variable. Now I am moving forward. I am going to go to that session ID, right? I am going to go to that session ID up there. Control H, I am to replace it with what? I am to replace it with this session ID, and let's start from the beginning. Wherever you get that session ID, you replace it. Can you see, this is the only place where we are getting that session ID, right? Replace. Do you want me to keep that session ID somewhere, or I can replace it, right?
You don't need it.
Yeah, let me replace it. So that is the only place,
But
right?
how do you understand only placing? Does it say one?
So can you
somewhere?
see if you find next?
No, I know that, but I'm saying just by looking, then
By
you,
looking,
you
yeah.
probably know that.
Yeah,
that no, it's not
I'm
like
working
that.
on this. I know it is only,
Not by
but
looking.
normally,
Yeah.
normally you keep doing it. Find
Yeah.
next, find next.
No more match, right?
Yeah,
That time?
yeah.
Oh.
No more match means we don't
One.
have,
We don't have it.
we don't have it anymore. Right now, our this in the parameter, this is test 3 is already registered, right? So I will have to put 4. Now I should be able to sign up this user, plus I should be able to log in. Let me execute this script. Okay, our registration is done, right? Then here I am going to click on what? This is where I am doing the login. This is where I am doing the login, right? So if you take a look here now, I want you to take a look. Can you see here? Now we have everything parameter. We can see what is the parameter we are using, what is the session ID we are using, everything reflecting in the log because of that. And one other thing, right? If you have taught somewhere, if you work as a teacher somewhere,
What?
if you worked as a teacher somewhere,
Right.
right? You saw that when you are trying to make someone understand something, it is a little bit tough. When you are, especially if it is not like literature, English, you are telling a story, you are explaining something on literature or religion. If you are trying to explain something on science, on computer science specifically, to a group of people who is not from computer science background, it is pretty tough. So I am, many of the time I am repeating something because I know that your understanding level, some of you might be struggling. So that's why sometimes I repeat. I still have many things to explain, but I repeat so that your understanding
Clear.
is clear. I'm not seeing the output from you. I didn't see any. I gave true homework. I didn't get it. So my understanding is 0 from you. I am assuming that you understood 0 because I didn't see any homework. So instead of, I'll have to take some further class, instead of struggling on those class, instead of repeating struggling, I am trying to make you understand. Instead of, today I am explaining something new, but as you didn't understand the previous lecture, whatever new I am bringing, you are not understanding. And in the next class I am bringing another topics, you didn't understand the previous lecture. So it is not easy for me to explain same thing every time, and to explain the way I am explaining it. It is not, trust me, it is not easy for me. I am explaining, I am doing it, I am giving you option, take it, understand it. I didn't get your homework, that means you didn't understand it. Now I am explaining it again. Ask me question, understand it. Okay?
Right.
So now take a look here. This line number 70. What we are going to do here? We are going to
70?
line number 70. We are going to
Login.
login, right? Now if you and what trust me one thing, when we are not getting homework from you guys, right? We are seriously thinking actually what is happening with you. What we are trying to explain, if you do not get it, what is the point of teaching here? We do not need to do it. So you are coming here, you are spending money, you are hard-earned money, right? If you do not understand, you do not need that money. We do not need that money. I'll say if you do not do homework, it is not a course like you will be coming into course. At the end of the course, you will get a degree, right? If you go to Georgia State, whatever you understand, if you can pass the exam, you will get a certificate, right? This course is not like that. If you do not understand, if you think that after doing this course you will get a job, trust me, it will not happen. So it is worthless if you do not understand, and if you are spending your money and time, no use. You might be landing into a job by saying some interview questions. There is a possibility, but the possibility is minimal. Okay.
Some people then will not be able to
survive. Even if you get job, it will be hard for you to survive. Okay. Now here I am going to execute that login. Can you see our login is successful? And what is the session ID? Can you see? You are also seeing that session ID plus, if you take a look, when we are logging in, we have used a session ID and we have used password, user ID. What we have? What is that? Can you see the password? We have something wrong here. This password SP test 4, right? Now we'll have to see what is that username, password, and let's see password, right? We'll have to see what is the password we have over there. The password. Now we have, when we are registering, can you see, if you look for P password, right? So what is the value we are using for password? Now you come here, right? Can you see P user ID is this one, and if you take a look, what is the password? Can you see, for the password also we have used the same text somehow in our parameter setup, but it was, as we have used the same word, it was able to log in, our script is passed. But let's take a look what is the problem with that parameter file.
The table, did we write down right?
Hold on. Can you see the problem here? We are saying P user ID is P user ID by name, P user ID, P password by name. You got it?
That's right.
P password, right? Close. Okay. Now we are good. We are able to log in and register users. Now my goal is to register 100 users, and if you use 100 users, let's say, let me first set up the parameter. Let me first set up the parameter. How many users I want to register? 100, or let's say I want to register 1,000 users. How will I do that? So you go to Excel. Then when your Excel comes, so how I am doing actually, so let's say I want to create 1,000 users, right? How I am doing it? If you want to type this number manually, it will take long time. Instead of typing it manually, I am doing it. So that is my 1,000, right? 1,000, right? Then I'll have to make sure this application has also limitation. I'll have to make sure that how much I can type here. I can type up to 1,000. That's fine, because you cannot type many things here, right? So that's why I need to keep it short and simple.
How do you know if you can type 1,000?
can you see no, we can type up to 1000, but can you see you can put limited number of digit here as a username. You cannot make your username like that long.
Maybe 16 digits, for example.
Yeah. Now you go to your Excel. So we generated the username, right? Then what you do, you come here. What is your password you want to put? Right? You do the same thing. Instead of copying it, you drag up to you reach.
The password is same.
Yeah. The password is same, but sometimes you might need to put different password. Let's say we want to put different password. If you want to keep same password, what you do, you select copy cells. Then the password will be same. If you select copy cells, it will be same, but we want to keep different password. We not want to.
Change it and format it.
Yeah. So if you select copy cells, then all of the password, can you see they are same, but we want different password. So that's why we are selecting field series. You got it? Now we got 1000 user ID and we got 1000 passwords. Now in the parameter file, if you take a look in the parameter file, right, if you go back to your parameter file, can you see that in between user ID and password you have a comma, right? You have a username and comma. So what you do, you go there, you go to your Excel and select Ctrl A, right? So I guess all of our 1000 is selected. Press Ctrl C and then go to your script, select edit with notepad, give it a little bit time so that it can bring it for us. Okay, now if I go back there, let me see where are we at this point. So is it not able to bring that notepad? Oh, I already have the notepad open. Now here, can you see what I am doing? I am pasting it, and then everyone can see I will have to have a comma. In between user ID and password. So what I will do, I will select Ctrl H and I will be replacing that space with a comma. Replace all. I am replacing this space with a comma. So it is calculating. Let it give a little bit time while it is calculating. So otherwise you will have to manually go and put comma. So it's
1000 comma.
1000 comma. If I have another tool, if I use that tool, it is much easier. It will not even take that long time. I have Notepad++, right? If you go to Notepad++, you can download it and install it in your computer.
Notepad++ too, right?
Yeah. So in Notepad++, what you can do, you can paste it. You can paste this below, and then what you do, you go there, select one of the space, and then replace it with what? With comma. Replace all. Replace all. So what it is saying? It was not able to replace anything, right? Why? Because there is something.
There is too many space there.
No, this one, Ctrl H, right? Now if you replace all,
We selected all our
Ctrl H. So this one, if I select Ctrl H, right? This is one. How many space? This is one space, right? How many space? One space. Now if you do replace all, still it is not replacing because of match case, match whole word only. Can you see what we have here? We do not need to select that. So now if you do it, replace all, is it still doing the same thing? No, now it is. Now let's see what it does. Now hopefully it is working. What are we getting here? Is it still working? Yeah. Let's see if it can do in a quicker way. Let me start recording. Yeah, now the comma thing. Can you see here? This is the place, press Ctrl H, and can you see replace all? One click, the job is taken care of, right? Now you press Ctrl A, Ctrl C, and you go to your.
Oh, now it's working.
Yeah.
This is a Notepad++.
Notepad++. Now you go there in your script, edit with Notepad, and you paste it here.
Because the space is
Right.
like a river.
I think you just copy first HP test 2000 passbook and left side, then you copy the right.
Hold on. Alright. So now what we have over there, we do not select in that way. Now what we do, let me select. So if I go there, if I again it is going same thing, right? What we are going to do, let's say I have text pad, right? Notepad++, and then I have text pad. Text pad. Now if you go to text pad, let me see if I copy it from there. Let me copy it from here. Let me paste it. Right? Are you good? So Notepad, TextPad. In TextPad, you can directly bring TextPad, download TextPad, and you can do everything in TextPad.
TextPad? Okay.
TextPad. TextPad.
.com?
Yeah.
One is only Notepad, another is Notepad++.
No, yeah, another is Notepad++, another is TextPad. So you do not need to bring Notepad++, you use only TextPad. TextPad. So in TextPad you can do the same thing. In TextPad you can do the same thing. So how you can do the same thing? Let me bring this user ID from Excel again. I know this user ID doesn't have comma at there. So let's go there, Control A, Control V, right? Now, how will you replace it? You will be selecting one of the, you go all the way up, you select one of these space, Control H, right? Control H, right? But sometimes when you install first time TextPad, right? Can you see preferences? When you install first time preferences, you go there. Can you see editor? And then can you see keystroke compatibility? You select here Microsoft application. Initially it will not be Microsoft application. So you select Microsoft application, and then when you press Ctrl H it will work, otherwise Ctrl H will not work. Right? Now let's do replace all. Replaced all, right? Now let's do Ctrl A, Ctrl C, and we already have it here, right? We have all the users already set up. Now let's say our script is ready too, right? In script everything is ready. If you go there, right, you will see that I have thousands of IDs here, right? Correct? Then you close it. Now I have a problem with this local machine in the controller. So what I am going to do, this script, let me see what is the shared drive in my virtual machine. In my virtual machine, what is that shared drive? If I go there, I think the shared drive is this folder, right? But I can create another shared drive. Let me create another shared drive. Actually, I will not create another shared drive. I will put it in this folder. So let me save that script to that folder so that I can get it from virtual machine. So I will be executing. Now I have developed that script in the local machine, but when I am executing it, I will be executing it from my virtual machine. Why virtual machine? Because I have a problem in my local machine, controller is not working. Now if I want to execute this script from the virtual machine, I will have to, this script will have to be available from the virtual machine, right? Now, yeah. So I am saving this script to the place which is shared to the virtual machine. Clear? So in my computer, in your computer, your whole C drive is shared, right? But in my computer, I have a folder that is shared with the virtual machine. Now in my computer, in D drive, I have a folder called what is called, if you go up, this is the D drive where I have shared. Now in D drive, can you see this 3QI labs? Inside that one, I am going to save that script. I have a folder called performance testing, so I am saving this script over there, right? I am saving that script over there. And you do one other thing, folks. Here, can you see this action? Everyone can see this action, right? This action, you rename that action. So what is your script name? Your script name is this one, right? This is not mandatory, but I recommend you rename the action. How you rename the action? You come here, you put this and you put test. You rename that action to a meaningful name. Do not keep this name as action. Put it a meaningful name. Save it. Then you go to your virtual machine or wherever your controller. If your controller is in local machine, do it from local machine. Then you go there. If you have any question, ask me.
So we don't have a controller, we have a generator.
You have controller. I'll show you. You have controller. Yeah. Let me show you. Take a look at the screen. Best thing, you look at the screen. You ask me. Can you see this icon in your desktop?
That green one? No, I don't see that one.
Everyone, can you see this?
Do you have the generator? You don't have no generator in your computer, Mohit?
I have generator.
No, he probably is missing that icon. Can you see it now? Not yet?
You have generator, you must have, because all three come in one package, not something that is one by one.
You got it?
Get
Okay.
that?
Okay, now take a look. Everyone, look at here. Now take a look here. I'm clicking on controller. The controller is starting. It might see that it give us choice to which script we want to execute. It is giving us option for what? Which script we want to execute. Now I'll be selecting browse, and then where is my script? Performance testing. Inside performance testing, if you sort by date, can you see this script? Yeah, everything is there. So this script I am going to execute this script. Okay, open.
Is it talking about the file solution and the one that we put the name?
No,
TC01
no, the file that we saved.
is built on it?
No,
No.
script, the script
Script
itself.
will be saved.
The script itself.
But that will be saved under the name that we put. Solution, when you click on file, we give a continuous script and solution, right? Then
Yeah,
we
yeah.
put the name.
No, yeah, that's the
That's the
name.
name we are talking about.
Yeah. Now you come here. Can you see your script is there? Scripts in scenario, this one?
Yeah.
Okay, click,
We get all this stuff on the left side.
click OK.
Click OK.
Okay, and then this is a different world. Try to understand. Okay, now
We are getting live now.
now this is a different tool. Actually, all the works that those we did it in
Generator.
virtual user generator, right? Now we are in a different tool, analysis. Controller. Now controller, we use controller for executing performance test. Now can you see here that you have your script, and then let me select basic schedule. When you select basic schedule, then it is let me see select basic schedule. Now here can you see total? Let's say when you are putting pressure on an application, pressure means how many users are trying to log into that application, right, at a time. So depending on the requirement of the application, we can put 10 users, we can put 20 users, we can put 100 users, or we can put thousands users, depending on what the application is required. But we have limitation. We are using trial version. We cannot pressurize any application because we have license only for 10 users. You understand? So like how you generate load to an application, you put concurrent users, you put thousands concurrent users, you put 100 concurrent users.
So you say
Then
license 10, what do you mean? Let's say suppose we put 1000 at concurrent and crash. So we have to reinstall everything.
no, 1000, if you put 1000 users, it will not work. So can you see
No,
total?
I know it is not work, but does it mean it's going to crash this software?
Software will not even let you run
Oh,
it,
not even, okay.
right? So we have limitation. We can only, like let's say application, we can only generate 10 users on an application at a time to work on that application, not more than 10. Understood? Because we have a community version. Community, they comes with 10 users, right? Clear? So that is what we are mentioning here, 10 users. Now,
It's by default there.
yeah, by default there. Now, the question here, how will these 10 users work? Let's say in the script, if you take a look at the script, can you see parameters? How many parameters, how many users we have in the script? Thousands, right? how will this when we are
How
putting
does it work?
we are putting 10 users, how will this work? Who can tell me?
10, one at a time, 10
It's a
will
concurrent user, right?
Mhm.
You're talking about?
Yeah, one at a time,
Mhm.
10 users will come.
Yeah.
So we have 1,000.
Mhm.
So when all the users gonna come together,
Mhm.
then 1,000 will execute it. 1,000 will go. So that's how it is. So 10, 10, one at a time.
10 at a time. Now let's say you have 1000 cars here in a row. How many cars? 1000 cars. So if you have 10 drivers only, what they will, let's say those cars need to be placed from one place to another. You do not have a carrier, big carrier. So each of the individual car needs to be driven. So if you have 1,000 cars, you have 10 drivers. What they will have to do? They will have to drive 10 cars, and then they will come back another 10 cars, and come back another 10 cars in that way, right?
Right.
Is that understandable?
Yeah.
So when you are mentioning 10 users, that is the 10 driver, and that 10 drivers are going to drive those 1,000 users in the script. How? They will at a time they will be able to pick only 10,
It's a
but
10 by 10.
10 by 10, 10 by 10. So they will be doing first 10, and then they will be doing next 10, then they will be doing in that way, right? Now, if you want to drive all of these 1,000 users, so these 10 drivers, how many times they will have to identify? 100 times, right? If you want to drive out of those 1,000 users, if you want to drive 100, how many times they will have to? 10 times,
10.
right? Okay. Now you understood what is that virtual users? So virtual users, what actually doing? Each of the virtual users taking that script. Each of the virtual users. That means 10 virtual users at a time going to start execution of that script, right? 10 virtual users are going to drive that script concurrently. Drive that script concurrently. Drive that script what? Concurrently. 10 virtual user is going to drive that script concurrently. Clear? Is it clear? Okay. Now, when they are driving, how they are driving? Actually, they are driving that script. What they are driving? They are not driving a car. They are driving that script. So when they are driving that script, every user, when they are trying to register a user, when they are trying to signing up a user, they will have to have data, right? Right. Take a look here. You have nothing over there. So when they are driving that script, driving means they will be clicking on sign up, they will be inputting user ID,
Profile.
all the data, and submit it, right? Now where they will get that data? They cannot input the same data again and again because it will throw an error. They will get data from that parameter file.
Right.
So when 10 of the people they are driving that script, they will take 10 user ID from that parameter. 10 different. See what we did here? Can you see we have selected unique? So they will be selecting when they start the first time, they will be taking first IDs and first 10 password from here. Second time they will take the second set, second 10. Third time they will take the
Not the two driver will try to take one car.
no, not even like they will take sequentially. Now, if you select, there is another thing here. Can you see? If you select random, they will be taking here and there randomly, not systematically. Let's say one user will be taking one from 100 place, another will be taking one from 200 place. So the way it will work, it will be taking this, it will be taking this one unique. We have selected unique, and what it will do? It will go set by set. Let's say when all the sets will be done, then they will be coming back to the beginning, and then in the meantime, when all the sets will are registered, it will not be able to register it one more time, right? So that's why if you have a situation where um, where your data might create issue, you always select unit, so that it doesn't take from here and there, and it takes sequentially, so that you have a trace how much.
So once been taken, nobody will try to get that.
Nobody will try to take it. Okay. Now, what I am going to do, yeah, I have 1,000 ID, but I am not going to register those 1,000 ID. I am going to register up to. I am going to register up to. First time I am going to register 100, right? So let me show you the way I am going to do. So far, do you have any question? Feel free, ask me question if you have. Okay. Now, what I am going to do, I know that I have 10 virtual users. I have 10 drivers. And how many ID I want to get registered?
Altogether 100.
Altogether 100. So that 10 user, how many times they will have to execute? How many times? 10, right? Now you go to, can you see this runtime settings? You select the script, or this script is already selected. Can you see this button here? This is the start. If you want to start, can you see this button here? Runtime settings. You click over there. Runtime settings, right? I clicked on the runtime settings. Now can you see run logic? How many iteration I want to execute? 10, because I want to register first 100 users. And then one other thing I will show you later on, pacing. So when we are registering pacing, yeah, when we are registering user, let's say one virtual user, he took one ID, he registered it, right? Then in real situation, when you are doing the work, like you register one user and then you take a little bit break, right? In real situation, I did one, now I take a breath, right? Same way, when one ID will be fully registered, we will give it a little bit breath before it start with another one. No, pacing time. We are talking about pacing time. Pacing time is when the script is executed one time. When it will be, the user will be starting one more time, because each of the user will have to start how many times? 10 times to finish 100. Now let's say one user registered one ID. Then before he starts another iteration, I will ask him take a little bit break. So what I am saying, before you start another iteration, pacing time is, now I understand what is pacing time. So when your virtual user is driving that script throughout the test, if you run the test for 10 iteration, he will be executing it for 10 times. But when it's done with one iteration, I am asking, hey man, you did a good job, now take 10 second or 20 second break, and then you start the next iteration. That is what we are calling pacing time. So that pacing time, nothing will happen. But what is the situation when you are doing real performance testing, right? You want to generate a realistic situation. Hey everyone, look at here rather than doing something else. So when you are doing a realistic performance test, right? Let's say you are opening application, and then when you are inputting user ID, even to type it takes a little bit time, right? And you think, and then it takes like 10-15 seconds, right? So before, like, you open application, after opening application, before you submit the login request, you are taking a little bit time. Not like if you ask computer, it will straight away open the application, submit the login request. It will not wait. But you will have to ask it, hey, you have open application, slow down, take a little bit break, because realistic situation, normally a human user, it takes a little bit time. If you do not give that a little bit time, it is an unrealistic performance test. You got it? So in between, when you say, take a look, when you say that when you have open application, after opening application, before you submit login, take a little bit break. That is what we are calling think tank. Right? Now let's go to that.
Then think time is controllers testing.
Yeah. Views and inside views and you are putting a time.
Think time.
Inside each of the transaction you are putting a time. That is think time. But in pacing, like when you are done with the whole iteration, let me show you. Actually, hold on. Before I go there, let me actually show you something here, because otherwise it will not make sense. Everyone, please follow here. I am going to put some garbage data here, because I do not want to mess up this data. Right? And then it will be HP, let's say park, remove HP. Let's say park, right? Park 1, park 2, and then park 3, park, right? Now I'm going to do something here. Close. Can you see I have transaction here? How many transactions I have?
5.
I have 5 transactions, right? Start from the, you do not need to put a think time in the last transaction. I'll tell you why. You go to the 4th transaction, you put a think time here. Normally we put 20 seconds. Right? Or let's say you do not think time 20 seconds, right? We are putting a think time after every transaction. Why? Why? Can anyone tell me? We are putting a think time after every transaction. Why? Yeah, before, like when you are done with one transaction, take a pause, take a break to make it realistic. Do not like bombard the application. When you are not putting any think time, then you are bombarding the application with huge load. Instead of doing that, you put a little bit think time so that application can take breath. Then you come here. This is another transaction, so I am going to put the same thing here.
So we do 20 or for the practice?
20. We do 20, but for practice, I'll make it smaller. So I put think time 20. So then that's it, right? Now if you take a look, all of your LR, if you search it, LR n transaction, can you see every n transaction has a 20-second think time? Why is that? You want to take a little bit breath before you go for the next transaction. Now we do not have a think time here in logout. Last transaction we do not have a think time. Why? Because last transaction you will put, when you are done with last transaction, when you are done with one execution, then you want to put pacing time.
1 set of 10.
You want to put pacing time. Here pacing. Now what is the pacing time you want? Let's say we want a fixed pacing time 10 seconds. What is the pacing time you want?
10 seconds.
This is after you putting the 10 ID and
No.
ID and password.
No, after you are done with one iteration.
One ID.
Pacing time is when you are done with one execution once for
between two.
between two. And can you see this think time? Now I am going to select a random think time. Actually, let's do that pacing time, right? Let's do a random pacing time. Okay, let's do a fixed pacing time of 10 seconds, right? And this think time, let's do a random think time 50%, let's say in between 50% to 150%. Now what is 50% of
two transactions?
between two transactions, in between every transaction we put think time, right? Now this think time we are saying 50% to 150%.
5 seconds to 15 seconds.
Now if you put if you have 20 second, then what is the 50% of 20 second? 10 second, right?
10 to 30.
10 to 30. So it will be 10 to
30 seconds.
30 second, but it can be 11 second,
Right.
it can be 12 second
Yeah.
in between, but it maximum it will not be more than
150%. 30 seconds.
you understand, everyone understand this. If you have question, I am waiting for your question.
We are putting the range because we are trying to make this thing
Realistic.
realistic.
You know, not all of the users
Yeah,
will
not-
wait
not
20
everyone
seconds.
understand.
Not all of the transaction will wait 20 seconds. Some of them will be waiting 11 seconds, like this.
Very easy.
Very easy. Yeah. Now, what I am going to do here, run logic, I am going to run it for 3 times. I am going to run it for 3 times. Now,
What is it in 3 times?
I mean, from the virtual user generator, I am going to execute it 3 times now. When I am executing, no, only here.
Oh, okay.
Here it is a single user.
Yes, yes,
It will be doing 3 times. Now can you see here, I have, after every end of transaction, I have a think time. Can you see? I don't have a think time here, right? So let me put a think time here. Think time, right? And after the think time, I decorate it a little bit by putting a comment. Now if you search it again, find all, can you see every transaction, after every transaction, when I am ending the transaction, I have a think time. When I am ending the transaction, I have a think time. Can you see? Except the last transaction. Why? Because when the last transaction is done, pacing will be taking place. It will take, before it start another iteration, it will take break. So that's why I didn't put any think time. Now if I execute it,
So what would be the fundamental difference between think time and pacing time?
okay, think time is in between
Into the
transaction. Pacing time is when your script is fully executed
One step.
one set, one time. Then when it is going to execute another time, then before it start another time, it will that will take place.
But both the cases is time anyway.
Yeah, time. Now let me show you a practical use of think time and pacing time. I am doing it here.
But this is generator, right?
Yeah. Okay. One other thing I will have to do. Remember, this think time will not take. It will not play. Why? Because we will have to set up something, right? Hold on. Okay, actually,
We have to set over there.
actually, hold
Make
on.
it work accordingly.
Let me double check one thing.
Right now we chosen that even though think time is here in the script, but it will not gonna be able, right?
Hold on. I think we have chosen that option.
I didn't see that. Okay. If you did it, you're fine. It's thinking now.
Okay, so now it is, take a look here, it is opening the application, and after opening application, it is still working on opening application. Can you see think time? Let me make it full screen. It is waiting here 12.68 seconds. Everyone can see, right?
Yeah.
Because random of 20 to 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then here again it is waiting. Can you see 27.94 seconds? Right?
We want to little more to the here.
Yeah, then you will see it is waiting 27.94 seconds here. And then when it go to the next transaction, so you know how think time is taking place, right? Can you see now we got another think time. Now what is that? 22.68 22.65, follow the recording, okay? And then 22.65, and then it has already registered. Now it is going for the login. What it is going to do? It is going for the login, and then see here. Now we have a breakpoint here, right? We have a breakpoint. That's fine. We want that breakpoint. Now if you go there, right? Can you see if you execute this think time, right? If you execute this think time, can you see that think time is 10.77 seconds and it is taking place? Can everyone see that? Okay. Then I am logging out. After I log out, do I have any think time?
No.
When I am executing this return, that means I am done with first iteration. This is called first iteration. This is called iteration. So when I will be clicking return, that means I have executed this script for the first time, one iteration. Then pacing time should take place. What is our pacing time? 10 seconds. See, when I am executing the return, and then you come here, if you let me see, did it? No, it didn't play that pacing time, right? Did it play the pacing time? No, it didn't play the pacing time. Now let me stop recording. Let me think time it took place, but pacing time it didn't play it. Let me see what is the problem with the pacing time. Now if you go to pacing time, start fixed this one, and let me see. No, I saved it. Start new iteration fixed. Let's say we want to give this one, we'll have to select this one. We can give a random, right? Random, let's say we want to give 10 to 30 seconds pacing time, right? Now if you notice that we already have executed the test for one data, so how many times we will be executing now? 2 times. And in the parameter file, for this data we already executed. So we want to start execution from the second data. What I will have to do? Are you understanding what I am doing? I will have to execute from this one because I already did the execution from this one. Now I will have to select this line. Is it clear? Now close. Okay. Now if you execute it, let me start execution. You will see now both pacing time and think time will take place here. Okay, we are taking 18.35 second think time here. Think time is too much. Think korte korte we are sleeping, right? Yeah, we can limit the think time. For our testing, we will limit it. Just I am showing you how it is affecting your script.
So in real life,
Yeah, we put the thing that I am putting, the same thing we put in real life. Sometimes we put even higher. Let's say if you execute the test for 1 hour, in 1 hour you need to generate 100 transactions. If you put think time too low, it might generate 1000 transactions. So depending on how many transactions you need to create, you adjust your think time. You got it? You make it 200% sometimes, you make it 300% sometimes, depending on what is the situation. Okay. Now, can you see we are in login? So we are going to the login part. Login done. We are doing the think time 25 seconds. So is it going to be too much for our class today? We didn't bring actually new topics, not that much new topics. Yeah, we're gonna finish the controller part. Now can you see that it is waiting, it is taking a think time for 25 seconds. Now we are logging out. So when we are logging out, right, when we are executing that return, that means our first iteration is done. Now did it play that pacing time? We still didn't saw that pacing time, right? We still didn't saw that pacing time. Now let's see what is the problem with that pacing time. Probably it will be played in the controller. So let me stop execution again. Let me see what is the issue with the pacing time. You go there, pacing time, random 10 to 30 seconds. So we have, if I select use default, this one, I select this one, fixed, let's say random, I put 1 to 5 seconds. So probably this pacing time will take picture when I am executing it from controller, right? Now pacing time, what it does when your iteration is executed, before it starts the new iteration, then can you see your iteration is done here, first iteration ending iteration 1. So before it will play the new iteration with new set of data, then this pacing time will be placed. Now we have, remember that in the, if we do fix, we can give another try here. Let's see, let's say fix 2 seconds. And I'm going to show you one other thing. Can you see this think time? It is taking too long, right? So I am, can you see limit think time to 1 second? So hold on, even though I am not going to change the script, I am going to ask it, whatever think time you have in the script, just play 1 second, do not play that much second. Now let me execute it.
How important
Is here. Can you see limit? It is important when you are running performance test. You are putting think time, but sometimes you do not want to wait that long, so you limit the think time. Okay. Now let me execute it.
So even though in the script we are changing it here.
Yeah. Even though in the script we have 20 seconds, if you limit the think time from here, it will always be playing. Can you see it is playing 1 second, only 1 second think time, right? That's fine. That is already registered. That's why. Now in the login, let me go through login, right? Okay, hold on. Now if you take a look, before you start the next iteration, I want to see. Can you see here?
Yes.
Waiting in between, like we have iteration 1 ending here. We are starting another iteration. In between, we have 2 seconds in between. So that is what pacing time is. Understand? What is think time? What is pacing time? You will have to answer me in the next class. Now, so this script, let me straighten this. I don't need this data, because this data we already registered, right? I'm going to remove this data, and I'm going to, oh yeah, now can you see it is straight away going to HP power 2. I'll have to select from first line. Yeah, let me go to the runtime settings in the controller. Yeah, let me see in the runtime settings what I will have to do. This script I will be, if you click on runtime settings again, remember we did some modification in the script, right? Remember that. So now in run logic we have how many iterations we want to execute? We want to execute 10 iterations, because we have 10 users. We want to register 100 users. 10 iterations for each of the users. pacing time, we want to give a fixed pacing time here, let's say 1 second. Think time, we are limiting think time to 1. If there is any error, generate screenshot. If there is any error, Shahad bhai, if there is any error, generate screenshot. We do not want that define each action as a transaction. Browser emulation, new user, that's fine. Our runtime settings are fine. Then
Could you please go with the error?
okay, see here, a couple of things we are taking care of.
Yeah.
We are giving run logic
Run logic
10.
Okay.
Pacing, we are giving a fixed 1 second. Log, we are giving parameter substitution, extended log parameter substitution. Think time, we are giving 1 second. And then miscellaneous, we are asking if there is any error, take a screenshot. If there is any error when you are executing test, if there is any problem, then take a screenshot of the application. And then can you see define each action as a transaction? I uncheck that. I do not need it. Okay. And then preferences, whatever I have here, can you see file and inline? I will not need it. Okay, I will not need it. I will show you what is the difference it makes in the next run, but I am not taking this one right now. And then I am keeping this one, click OK. Any more question?
Yeah, the preferences.
Sure. So if I go to preferences,
We find line automatically transition. What does it
file and inline in automatic. See, you will see. I'll show you difference by practically. Right now I am not taking it. Right? Okay. So now, can you see we made some difference in the script, right? Let's see. Can you see this icon view script? If you click on it, you will be able to bring that script. Yeah, from here. Let's see if we have right thing in the script. If we have those think time in between transactions.
So the settings will be one can wait until you come to the controller.
Yeah.
Then in the settings.
Yeah.
So we runtime.
Runtime. Yeah. Huh?
we have to close the script
From there,
user.
is better you close that script from the user. Okay, I am closing that script from here. And then let's go back to there. That should open. Can you see the script opened here?
Yeah.
Now if you go to action, let's see if I have that think time in between the transaction. Can you see I have the think time? That means the script is updated here, right? Right? So if you think the script is not updated, that what you can do, can you see these details? Right? Can you see this icon here? Guys, can you see this icon here? You can click refresh, then the script will be refreshed. The latest script will be updating here. Now, the final thing that I am going to take care of, can you see? Like when you are executing a test, when you are generating load, you will need some machines from where you will be generating load, right? If you want 100 users log into that application, how many computers you will need?
10.
No. If you want 100 users will be logging into that application
Same time.
right now, 100 computers. So to generate the load, we need computer as well. So here to generate that load, we need to select which machine it will be using. Normally, if you work somewhere, there will be load generators where the load will be generated. But here we will be using localhost as a load generator. This machine as a load generator. Now, if you come here, can you see localhost? If you don't have localhost, add and then type here localhost. Okay, and we want localhost to be our load generator, right? Localhost. We are in reality you will see a list of load generators you will be mentioning.
In the real world, the generators are they like machines or
They are powerful machines.
have to go there?
No, from here you will be selecting them.
Okay.
And then one other thing, can you see results? Where do you want to save your results? Right? Results settings. You want to save your results. Let's say we want to save our results in the desktop, and we want to save our results desktop. And what is the name we want to put? We want to put name, let's say 2017 03 18 demo path. Okay, now can you see how many iteration I mentioned? 10 iteration. Now if you start execution by clicking on here, let's see what happens. I have already started. It will by default choose a place where, can you see everything is failing here? Can you see everything is failing here?
Yeah.
Why? Can anyone tell me why? The test is done. If you go back there in your desktop, can you see this folder?
How do you know the test is done? The folder.
The test is done means, if you see the test is done, can you see running users 0, this button is there?
Okay.
That means the test is done. Now you come here. If you take a look at your local, here can you see a folder is created?
Yeah.
And inside that one, can you see in the log, right? If you go there, you will see what happened actually. It tried to open the application. You will see every users, let me show you, every users has already executed how many iteration?
Wow.
Starting iteration, no.
Yeah.
If you copy this, can you see every users 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Every users executed 10 iteration, and in every iteration, can you see they tried to, if you take a look here, they tried to, can you see open application ended with fail? They tried to open the application, but they were not able to open the application. Can you see? It was able to work with only one transaction. Where is the transaction? 01 open application.
Why is it?
Because we didn't start the server.
Yeah. Server is not.
We do not have the server. So that's why
It's not coming.
it is not coming. You understand?
Coming.
Okay.
You have no power.
Now can you see that, hold on guys, can you see for 10 users we have 10 files, right? We have 10 files, and they tried to execute 10, they already executed 10 iteration, every iteration failed. And if you take a look here, there is another file. Can you see this file? Analysis. If you double click on it, you will see, I don't sleep guys. If you see this one, take a look here. I am starting like whatever test I executed, it has created an analysis. Now take a look here that when this analysis is preparing the result for us.
What kind of result is shown? Like faster?
Yes, see, you will see what we are seeing here. Now take a look here. We executed the test. It has generated the result, right? Now if you take a look at the summary, none of the transaction actually was able to execute, right? So we cannot see any transaction. Can you see all of the total errors? How many? We have 100 failed transactions, right? All of the transaction failed, and transactions, and can you see that it is failed, right? Now let me go there, let me take care of that server issue. Let me take care of that HP .root application. Oh. php web to server, right? And let me go to the test again. Let me do one other thing here. Design. If you go to design mode, can you see start all users simultaneously? We are not using all users simultaneously. We can say simultaneously, right? You do 2 users every 10 seconds. So every 10 seconds it will start 2 users. 2 users. Do not start all the users at a time.
How do we do this? Click on design, right? Or click on design?
Yeah, design, yeah.
Yes. So what do we do? Click on design.
Click on design and then can you see start view users? You click on that one.
Click on design, start the user. Okay.
Now let me start execution again. The results I want to, can you see? Do you want to replace the result folder? Yes, because that result is not meaningful. We do not need that bad result. Yeah, exactly. So I am replacing that result. Now let's see. Can you see it is now not all of the users are starting at a time. It is starting, still it is failing. No, still it is failing. So see what is the error message that we are getting. Open application, it is failing. That means it is not able to. So guys, now you know how to use this. We will troubleshoot this issue in the next class. We will troubleshoot this issue in the next class. But now you know from writing a script to parameterization to checkpoint to how to bring the script in the controller and how to execute it.
If we practice something else, it's going to cover all the past classes pretty much.
Yeah.
So you're gonna work at this one and then say video? do homework?
No, that one is, it will work.
Okay.
So what you do, you whatever I did,
Do the same thing.
whatever I did, you do the same thing. If your script doesn't work, don't do it. Okay, whatever I did so far, you do the same thing. Okay, and make sure ready when I will be coming next week. I want to see your script is ready like that, and we will be going forward from there. It will not execute. We will execute that script. We will show you how you can execute a script for 10 iteration, or you can execute a script for 10 minutes. You can execute the script by 10 minutes. You can execute by number, and then how you can analyze the result and prepare report. Those things we will be discussing in the next class. Alright guys, so that script is working locally, but when you are setting up it here for something it is not working. I guess that it is because of the because of some issue, but we don't have time today. We will be looking into those issues in the next class.
So from the error, the portion of error, so it's like every single error is fine. It gives the total number, right?
Yeah. No, you when you are done, you can submit. You can send it to me. Yeah. So what is the thing? Failed to connect to server. This one. So that means it is a problem here with the server. So let me try to. So here HP web to server, right? Now the server is there. If I try to execute it again. We'll take a look in our coming class. So that's it for today, and I hope you understand it. But if you do not understand it, go through the video, and also if you have any other question, let me know.
Yes, a couple of things. I want to show you my session ID thing.
Okay, let me stop recording here.
Okay.
Okay, you have seen that our script is failing. Now I'm trying to find out the reason why my script will be failing at this stage. If you go back there and if you look at the log file, and if you open one of the log file, can you see here that failed to connect proxy server, this one. So in our script probably we have proxy setup. So as we do not have Fiddler open, that's why it is showing that error. right? You are familiar with this number 888888. So we set up this one in field. Now let me go there. Let me go there. Let me go to my controller. Let me go to my controller here. So for this script, how you can you see this one? You can go to there, and can you see runtime settings? You go there. So this runtime settings is for that particular script. Now can you see that we have this proxy server set up here? I'm going to select that no proxy, right? And then refresh script. Okay, now if you go there again, probably we have the correct setup, right? Okay. Now if you go there, run, and if you run the results here, we want to replace results. Let me try to run it again. Let's see what happens now. I didn't see any error at this point so far, so I want to see how it goes. Now can you see we are not seeing any error, right? Our test is going on. So I will finish this test. You can see that gradually the users are ramping up, 2 users every 10 seconds. So the users are ramping up gradually, and then you can view, can you see, we will see some failures. These are expected probably because of some other thing, but let's see how this test goes on. Can you see while the test is running, you can see error statistics, you can see running the users, you can see transaction response time. So this is the transaction response time. Okay, you can see this one hits per second in the application, like how hard you are hitting in the application. Okay, and then if you look at transaction response time, can you see we have open application, we have click on sign up. For every transaction, can you see, we can see the time. This is the average time it is taking, this is the maximum time it is taking, right? So in that way you can monitor everything while the test is running. You can monitor everything. You can we have different, if you scroll down, Windows resources, right? If you are running a test, you will be able to monitor all the resources of the servers as well, if you have real servers. Now you can see that our test is going on so far. Let me see, it will be done soon probably. So if you want to see what are these error messages, we can go there. Let's see, can you see CPU users for this load generators has exceeded 80%. So the problem is with CPU users, right? Now if you take a look here, all of the errors CPU users, if you take a look here, task manager in performance, can you see CPU users more than 100% in this virtual machine? So the errors are related to the CPU users. When you are running test here, actually this virtual machine, its CPU is exceeding. So that's why we are seeing some error. So don't worry about this error, but you have seen how we can execute a test when your scripting is done. Now the test is like gradually exiting. Other than that, can you see we do not have any failed transactions. These error messages are related to the CPU users, but none of our transactions failed so far. Okay, so the test will be done soon. Okay, so the test is done. Now if you go back, when your test will be done, you will see this start scenario, this button will be activated again. Now let's try to bring this analysis. So when you when I was setting up my result settings, I set up my results will be written in the desktop and this folder. So my results is being written here. Now I am when your execution is done with HP LoadRunner, there is a tool HP analysis from where we can view your results. That is what I'm now bringing the result from HP virtual users. Okay, now you can see that in our script we had 5 transactions. Can you see all of the transactions are here? Can you see 98th percentile response time in opening application is 2.614. So like that, right? You can see average response time, maximum response time, everything is here. If failed transactions are 0, we saw some error message. If you go to controller error message, you will see some error. They are related to this local CPU uses. So there is nothing wrong with it at this point, but you can see that you have every 10 second you ramped up 2 users. So it took around that many times for ramping up the users, and then it executed the scripts. If you take a look, hits per second, this is the hits per second in the application, this is the throughput in the application, this is the transaction summary. Can you see each of the transaction executed 100 times? That means 100 users is already registered over here. So that is what actually I wanted to. This is the average response time. We have like these 5 transactions. If you want to see what was the average response time for, you can view it. Like you can see at a right. Can you see for this transaction it was taking maximum, it took 6 seconds, right? You can see. And if you want to bring, let's say when you are logging in, right, let's say we want to see what was the time for login. So let me remove this open application. So for login you can see maximum time was 4.6 seconds. In that way you can bring everything, you can view everything here. Okay, so that's it for today. I'm going to stop recording here and I will send you the videos. Thank you for joining and thank you for watching this video.